First, I'd like to just thank everyone that took the time to come out here this afternoon to honor Officer Horan and his life of service, and to be here to support his family, his Coast Guard family, and the Greensboro Police family. I apologize. I do have a cold that I have been getting over a little bit, and I do have a cough drop in my mouth. Unfortunately, a side effect, it has caused me to tear up on occasion, so I'll apologize for that in advance if that happens. As an organization, we have approximately 750 employees at the department, and as a police chief, I don't always get the opportunity to engage with all of the employees in one-on-one interactions. I was fortunate enough that I did have an opportunity to engage with Officer Horan on a few occasions. I'll share with you a recent experience that I had with Officer Horan. So I was working at headquarters, and Officer Horan was in the parking lot, and we were walking into headquarters, and it was shortly after a time that Officer Horan had received a reprimand at the police department. As many of you know, Officer Horan claims to be from the New Jersey area, and as such had a tendency to use colorful language. I guess to put that nicely. And he had received a recent reprimand for the use of colorful language, which I was told after the fact was just a New Jersey dialect that he was speaking. Nevertheless, anyone that knows me knows that one of my pet peeves as a leader is the use of that language. And so as we were walking into headquarters, Officer Horan and I were having a conversation, and he stops and he says, "Chief, I'm sorry for using that kind of language. I know we shouldn't be doing that, and I just wish I could be more like you and not use that kind of language." And I stopped for a second. I looked at him and said, "Officer Horan, we didn't hire you to be like me. We hired you for who you are." I then followed that up and said, "I want you to be who you are with a little less colorful language if possible." And he smiled and went on. Today we reflect on the life and journey of Officer Horan. We are reminded that it's not just the titles he held or the duties he fulfilled, but the heart and soul he brought to everything he did. And everything I know about Officer Horan, there are two words, and I think you heard them consistently today. And those two words are service and family. Officer Horan lived a life dedicated to service, a life of unwavering commitment, selflessness, and sacrifice. From his years in the Coast Guard to his time at the Greensboro Police Department, he never once hesitated to put safety and well-being of others before his own. In the face of danger, uncertainty, and difficulty, Officer Horan was always there, steadfast and determined, driven by a deep sense of duty. But perhaps most important of all, Officer Horan never saw his service as a job. To him, it was a calling. Whether it was rescuing stranded swimmers on a vacation, helping a community member in need, or simply showing up each day with an unwavering commitment to protect and serve, he did so with a sense of pride, responsibility, and honor that inspired all of us who had the privilege of knowing him. I will share with you a brief example, I think, that embodies the service of Officer Horan. On September 27th, the Asheville area had the remnants of a hurricane come through and create devastation in the western part of our state. September 28th, we received a call from the Asheville Police Department for resources to deploy to Asheville to help with recovery efforts. It was a Saturday. It was a Saturday evening. Unfortunately, Officer Horan was recovering from an injury, so he was not working. And the email that went out to all police went out at 8:08 p.m. on that Saturday night, asking for anyone that could help to respond. Officer Horan's response at 8:09 p.m., "I'll take myself off light duty and go, for real." It was Officer Horan's calling to serve. Yet as much as Officer Horan gave to his community, those closest to him knew that nothing mattered more than family. Officer Horan was a devoted husband, a loving father, a cherished brother and son. His family was always his priority, and he ensured that those he loved were cared for in ways that words can hardly express. Officer Horan knew the value of togetherness, of being present for the people who mattered most, and he embodied this every single day. Officer Horan's legacy is one of love and service. A person who lived with purpose, who brought light to the lives of those around him, who always made time for the things that truly mattered. He was more than a police officer, a member of the Coast Guard. He was a father, a protector, a friend, and above all, a family member whose love and devotion extended far beyond the uniform. As we say goodbye today, let us remember that the true measure of a life well lived is not found in titles or accolades, but in the love shared, the lives touched, and the differences made. Officer Horan's life was a testament to the power of selfless service and to the enduring bond of family. While we will miss him deeply, we know that his spirit lives on in all of us, in every act of kindness, in every gesture of care, and in every memory we hold close to our hearts. Mark, Patty, Maureen, Courtney, Nate, Kayla, and all the family and friends here today of Officer Horan, we extend our deepest condolences. Know that he will forever be remembered as a father, protector, friend, and devoted family member. Officer Horan, you have served your country, your community, and family with honor. Your legacy will continue to inspire and guide us. Rest in peace, brother. You will never be forgotten.